I'm John. I have a lot of experience on the guitar and I feel like I'm ready to teach. I have a variety of skills behind my back. I'm familiar with advanced fingerstyle and I feel like I can teach beginner to intermediate guitar effectively. Let me show you what I know. This is one of my favorite pieces. Hi, so this is your first time holding the guitar. My name's John, and today I'll be focusing on teaching you some of the basics of the guitar, teaching you what parts of the guitar are and what they do, and what our hands do, and what we're going to learn in the future and how the lesson will progress as we move along. So the first thing you're probably going to notice on the guitar is these 6 strings. So these 6 strings consist of the notes in downward order: E, A, D, G, B, and E. And whenever you see someone playing a chord like this one, what we're doing is we're manipulating the notes I just talked about into the notes that fit into a certain category of notes, which we call a chord. So for example, this is the G chord, and it makes a kind of sound. Now, what I'm playing the G chord on is what we call the fretboard. And why we call it the fretboard is because it consists of a lot of frets. And what are these frets? Well, they basically divide the notes into different semitones. So if this was an E note, then I would, if I held the note on the first fret, then I would be moving up a semitone, which would result in me playing the note F. Before we move on, I would like to talk about the head of the guitar. The head of the guitar we don't really touch much, but it does contain the tuning keys of the guitar. So whenever your note on the guitar gets out of tune, we can manipulate it so that it gets the right sound that we want. This is the sound of the guitar, and it makes the guitar very resonant. And this is what we call the bridge of the guitar, where all the strings of the guitar meet. So, what do our hands do? Well, if you're like me, I'm right-handed, so I use my left hand to hold the notes of the guitar, and I use my right hand to pick the guitar like this, or strum the guitar. And most of the time, the left hand is going to be your main focus, so we're going to start with that. Now, in the beginning, it's going to be very hard for you to hit anything, and it's actually going to put a lot of stress on your fingers. Whether it's very painful to do or it's quite a stretch to do. So the first exercise we're going to do, we're going to focus on being able to play along the fret of one string with all the different fingers. Now, I forgot to mention, your thumb is always used for support. So whenever you're holding a note, your thumb wants to be on the back of the fretboard so that it provides a lot of resistance, so that it wouldn't create a sound that's buzzy like this without using the thumb. But I'm pushing with the thumb so that I get a solid sound like this. Okay, that's great. So let's move on to the exercise. This is the first exercise that I'll teach you, and it starts on the first string and we'll move down consecutively. And we're going to start with the index finger. We're going to move on to the second fret with our middle finger. Remembering to put a lot of force onto it. The ring finger on the 3rd fret, and this might be quite of a stretch, but your pinky on the 4th fret, and then move back down. Once you've tried the first string, we're gonna move on to the 2nd string, and then the 3rd string. And we move down to the 6th string. Now, once you're going to be familiar with that, we'll be able to focus on not only hitting the notes or the frets of one string, but multiple strings. And what we're going to learn are chords. Now, chords are basically everything you're gonna need to know to be able to play along with songs, most songs. And if you'd like to move further, we would go into some fingerstyle. And if that's what you're interested in, what we would focus on first is doing a scale like the G scale. And then we would get on to moving with the right hand. So the right hand, you have the thumb, which is responsible for the bass notes, which we consider the first 3 strings. And apart from that, you'd use your index to your ring finger in sequence to hit the 4th, 5th, and 6th string. And once you get familiar with everything, you're going to be on your way to being able to play almost anything on the guitar. There are some techniques and strategies along the way, which I'll definitely be there for you. But that's basically everything you need to know the basics of the guitar. And it was just sort of an introduction to what guitar playing would be as for a beginner. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider me if you think I am pretty good at what I do. So yeah, see you soon. Thank you.